How do you break into the acting business? Okay, now, a lot of you are gonna be like, this guy, as soon as I give my answer. But bear with me if you can. Just hang on and go down a little journey with me. I'm gonna take us somewhere. But how do you break into the acting business? By stopping the attempts to break in. By no longer trying to break in. By not trying to get somewhere that you are not. We got to go field of dreams, build it and they will come. I don't mean ghosts of baseball players in cornfields. What I mean is that if you fall in love with the craft of acting and auditioning for its own sake, if you fall in love with it for its own sake, for the sake of doing it, if you make it your mission to look at the art of acting and make it an art, make auditioning an art, and attempt to do it for its own sake. Look, I once had the honor of speaking at a collegiate theater conference years ago, and Paula Vogel, the Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright, Tony Award-winning playwright, was there at this conference. She was the headline speaker, and she said a bunch of amazing stuff. And these young college kids, they did a Q&A afterwards, and they were asking her questions. And she talked about the craft. She talked a lot about the craft of writing. And one of these young writers said, "Ms. Vogel, thank you so much for everything you said about the craft, but I feel like I've got a great craft. I feel like I've got a voice. My biggest fear is not breaking in. Can you talk about that a little bit? Can you talk about how you broke in, how you got from here to there? Because the thing that keeps me up at night is, what if I put all this work and energy and blood, sweat, and tears into this thing and I don't get there?" And I think a lot of actors can relate to that, right? Oh my God, is it gonna make sense? Is it gonna really take me somewhere? Is it a waste of time? How does it translate all this hard work into results? Okay, this is what Paula Vogel said. She said, well, I never tried to break in. I just started writing these weird little things in college. I didn't know what they were. They were just these weird little things that I kind of had to write, and they were bringing me joy. And I had a roommate or a friend, I forget exactly what she said, but I had a roommate or a friend who read my little pieces and liked them and wanted to help me shape them and kind of work with them. And then we found a third friend who we got to come over on Tuesday nights and just read these little pieces. And the one friend would read them and the other friend would kind of shape them and direct them. And it's the thing we did on Tuesday nights in college. And then one day, she said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, right? It was a long time ago, but basically what she said was, and then one day, that director friend of mine was nominated for a Tony Award. And the young lady who was acting these crazy little pieces was nominated for a Tony Award. And I was nominated for a Tony Award. But we never tried to break in. I found people who loved what I loved and created in line with the way that I wanted to create, was called to create, and we built something. So you don't want to break in. Because if your action, I always talk about playing one specific honest action in the audition scene, right? And if your action in life is to break in, well, you never get there because you're just always trying to break in. And no matter what you get, no matter where you arrive to, it's never enough because you just program yourself like, I gotta get there, I gotta get there. It's like if I'm trying to get into my office, I'm never gonna get there because I'm already here. This is my office. I know it's sort of like, but hopefully this makes some kind of sense. What I encourage you to do is fall in love with the craft. Create, 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 create. Put something on the TikToks, on the YouTube. Get together with a friend and write a 2-page short film that you can film with your cameras. Have a Wednesday night read scripts night. Create something. You don't have a great showcase piece to show off your top-notch acting skills and your magnetism as an actor? Well, write a piece for yourself, or find someone who can write a piece for you, or find a piece from a show and then record it and show it to people. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I have top-notch skills and I'm not sure that I know how to allow my magnetism to be seen, well then work on that. Find a craft, a way of auditioning, a way of acting that speaks to you. Actors and auditions, they should love them, right? I mean, I know they're brutal, they can be so brutal, but if we say we love acting, like the musician loves playing, the violinist loves playing the violin, and you ever see one of these beautiful violinists in front of like Barnes and Noble? I used to see on Ventura Boulevard, there would be a violinist, and the guy was amazing. And, people would put money in the violin case there. And yeah, I think he was doing it to make some money and give away some music, but I also think he was doing it because he loved it. And I don't see any actors doing Hamlet in front of Barnes and Noble on Ventura. And I get that there's different kinds of resistance that would prevent an actor from doing that. It's not a complete parallel comparison there. But I hope you take my point. So many actors spend all their time going, how am I going to break in, that they're not creating? And they get the idea for the short comic piece, or they get the idea for the thing to have the friend write to put on the demo reel, or they get the idea for the little theater piece that they're going to do, and maybe only 10 people are going to come see it. But that's the deal, right? You start thinking about, is it really going to go viral? Are people really going to go see it? Is anyone really going to want to produce this short film? Forget it. Because the ego takes over, and the ego says, if we're not going to win or we're not going to be more liked, then I don't want anything to do with it. So we have to practice, and this is hard. This is not easy. It's not like, oh my God, just now I've fallen in love with auditioning. I understand it ain't that easy. It takes practice, but you can practice it. The more you create right here, right now, tonight, today, after watching this video, go sit down and just write something, perform something, create something, anything, and it will begin to catch on more and more in your life like wildflowers. Wildflowers, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say, what did I mean to say? Wildfire. I meant to say wildfire, not wildflowers. But I'm not going to redo this thing because I'm just letting it rip. And I encourage you to let it rip more. And here's the thing. It's not just some pie in the sky, idealistic naivete. It's practical. The most practical way to build your acting career, to get more work, is to create stuff that you love for your own good pleasure. And then things happen, right? Things happen. Don't figure out what they want, what's going to be the magic key to get you to break in. With your feet firmly planted in the right here, right now. Build something here. Build it now. And shit will happen. We don't know who they are, but they will come. All right? Things will happen. So do not try to break in. Create. Thank you.